On the Bank, in association with First Stop Loans. Online loans for online people.
In every sport there are massive sporting occasions. The Ryder Cup, the Grand National, the FA Cup final. This is where the pinnacle sportsmen want to be. And in fishing, you know what? It's no different whatsoever. And if you're in the angling world, you really want to be in this. This is the Parkdean Masters.
Okay guys, now, as I say, we're going to announce the festival winner and your 2018 Preston Innovation Champion. He's had 36 points, he's dropped 7 points, he's had a weight of 398 pounds for Paul Holland.
Yeah, really pleased, Rob, to be honest. I had a nice day, started off on Paul, £37, bit of help off Callum, and then I went to Belingi, bit of luck there, to be honest, and I caught biggest fish of the week, which was nice, £18, you need a bit of luck with that. And then after that I went to the match lake, felt hard done by, I drew not very good, peg 3, about £31, so I was third there, and then drew best peg in Cornwall, 16 twin oaks, had a nice downer waggler, and then today, not great on tree waters, but again a bit of luck, I've just managed to beat Nathan about 59, it's at 56. Can fish brilliantly, but without that little bit of luck, you need it in this, this calibre of angler. Like, if you'd have asked me this morning, win the festival or qualify, I'd have picked the festival 100%. I'm made up already, tomorrow's tomorrow. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Okay, fifth overall, picking up £700, also 35 points. He's dropped 6 points at a weight of £307.15. James Dent.
I'm not feeling too bad at all. I've had a good week. The weather's not looking too good though, but we shall see. I think 4 or 5 times I've been in it. Never been lucky enough to get on the fish, I don't feel, but you never know, this year might be the year.
In ninth place overall this week, picking up £300. He's had 33 points, he's dropped 8 points at a weight of 398.7. That's shit.
I would love to win it. I've been close several times, I've been lucky enough to actually win it twice. But yeah, it's always, just to get in the finals, an achievement with a week's festival is very hard, very difficult. But to come here and win it would be absolutely brilliant, especially in my lifetime. 48 years old now, so it'd be nice.
12th overall with 33 points, got 5 points, had a weight of 349.2. Mike McMillan.
So I've been in 6 Parkdean Preston festivals, but never got actually into the Parkdean finals. This is my first final. So fantastic, chuffed to bits. The money, as silly as this sounds, is put that to one side. It's the trophy for me. Obviously the money is financially very rewarding, but for me it's the trophy. I've not even thought about the money. I'm sure the wife has.
21st place overall, 32 points. He's dropped 3 points, had a weight of 293.4. Nick Speed.
Very prestigious to become the Parkdean Masters, without a doubt. It's very hard to win because of the level of the angling ability, but I think it's one of these venues and one of these days especially where it could throw up a big surprise.
And in 24th place, last to qualify with 31 points. He's dropped 6 points, had a weight of 299.8, Tom Edwards. Okay guys, going to start your draw.
So this is the moment of truth. Paul Holland first to draw. We know that 14 and 16 are quite popular areas, 42 and 43 too. Peg 48, Paul Holland.
Okay, James Dent.
Chris Barley, peg 14. That is an area that everybody wanted. James Dent now, very successful angler. It's a who's who of match fishing this. Lots and lots of big names in. James Dent.
Peg 15.
Peg 15, next door to Chris Barley.
Craig Edmonds.
Craig Edmonds now. 16 still in there.
Sorry, peg 21, wasn't it? Okay, Dan White. Peg 16.
Peg 16. That is the favoured area. That is the one that everybody wanted. You can see the pressure on the face there. Des Ship now, multiple winner of this event.
You know, for me personally, if I could draw between 14 and 21, which is down this end, even though it's really windy over there, I think you're gonna catch some fish on a short pole and a feeder. So that's where I fancy drawing, to be fair.
He's won it twice, been in it 15 times in total. 16 was where he fancied, but he'd be happy anywhere between 17 and 22. 43, that is the other fancied peg, end peg.
Andy Power.
Andy Power now. Runner up here last year. Never ever bet against Andy Power. Peg 20. Penultimate peg right down on the wind at the bottom end. Not sure he's going to be overly happy with that.
Short pole, long pole generally are the way forward on this lake, but as I say, there's a lot of pegs that's just not possible today. This wind is relentless. I don't think it's going to let up too much, and I think there's been a lot of rod tactics that come into play today.
Mike McMillan did exceptionally well in the UK Angling Championships this year.
Peg 4.
Peg 4.
Jordan Holloway.
Jordan Holloway, one of the youngest competitors in this competition, just 19 years old. Actually got through last year in peg 3.
Darren Cox.
Darren Cox. Former England international. Peg 44, next door to Des Ship.
Nick Speed.
Where do I fancy? I'd say like in this gap here, you know, like 15, 16, good. It's the most consistent area of the lake. We've also got the wind blowing down this direction as well. I think the bottom third of the match, that's where I'd want to be.
Peg 8.
Well, I'm lakeside now, and this is Jenny's. This has been the home of the Parkdean Masters for the last 18 years. It's 5 acres in size. There's 50 pegs, but only 24 of them are being used. Now, as you can see, the weather is absolutely incredible. We've got the back end of a hurricane coming through. The wind is ridiculous. The rain, what can I say? I am absolutely soaked. And the guys are out, dotted around in their pegs at the moment, hoping for their shot at the title. Now, the competition will start very, very soon, but I just want to talk to you about the lake itself. Running through the middle, there are a number of islands. Now, sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes the anglers want open water. The target species will be carp and F1s today. We've got low air pressure. This is carp feeding conditions. We've heard from some of the guys already as well about the tactics they're going to be using. A lot of the time they'd normally go in on the pole on a venue like this, but on a day like today, the rod and almost certainly the feeder, that's going to be a safer bet. Now, the lake is sectioned into 6 zones of 4, so there's one big competition going on for the £25,000 and of course the title and trophy, but there's also 6 individual 4-peg competitions going on for £1,000 a piece. So there's a lot of money being paid out today, and even if you are not in the thick of the action, like I am here, my word, even if you're not in the thick of the action, you've still got £1,000 to play for. I'm talking about playing. I've had enough playing in the rain. I'm getting back out and getting into some shelter. Callum, fancy your chances right in the middle?
I'm not sure, to be honest, because this bank's not normally pegged. It hasn't been pegged for a few years now, so we don't really know. The wind's a little bit better over here, so yeah, it's a chance. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Coxing next door, Des on the other side, 3 winners in a row.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a difficult section. 4-peg section, Andy Bennet on the other side with an island chuck, so it's going to be a difficult one to win, but I'll give it my best shot. Well,
Des, half decent draw actually. People fancy this peg.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1-2 matches, Rob. A long time ago, they caught shallow, them little silver crassia like F1s. But obviously that was, it's probably 10 years ago. It's extremely shallow now. There's obviously a lot of silt build up here. It's probably only like 3 foot deep on the long pole. And obviously the wind's horrendous for everybody, not just me. I mean, actually on this bank, we got it a little bit better than most. I can't really see the pole playing a part unless you catch short or down the edge. I mean, really, Rob, to be honest with you, I think unless I catch on a feeder and down the edge, I don't think I'll win it.
Well, Darren, half decent draw.
Yeah, it's good here, isn't it? I think Des is probably happy, isn't he? He's always happy.
Well, he's got the end peg down there, so.
Yeah. No, it's been won off this peg twice before next to me. This peg didn't used to be in, they used to fish towards this. I wanted some hot water today because I think that will help me catch fish. I don't know how many of those big fish will feed. If the big fish don't feed, then I might have a chance.
Joining me on the bank now to look at the day's tactics is none other than a former Parkdean winner and UK champion, Grant Albert. Grant, lovely to see you here. What is the day going to bring?
Well, I think the weather's going to, play a massive part in this today. There's going to be anglers not being able to fish as they want to fish. I think it's going to be a tricky day. I don't think it'll be a massive weight, maybe £50, but it's going to be a struggle.
Wow, just check this out. We thought the end peg might be one to watch, and if I was a carp angler today, I'd want to be in that corner, and Trig's down there and he's got something attached to him that wants to go in the opposite direction. He's battling on the end of the wind there as well, isn't he? Cool.
The problem is as well with that wind, when you go to net a fish, the wind catches the net, and you know yourself, it's so hard to try and net a fish in this weather because the wind just wants to take your landing net somewhere else.
It's all of these things make it more difficult. Yeah. Don't they? Everything about it, the rain dripping down the back of your neck, just affecting your concentration a little bit, the wind playing with the landing net.
And the elastic,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And obviously he knows that's a big fish, so he'll be praying for it not to come off, he'll be praying for the wind not to blow too hard so he don't pull his pole back too quick and then pull out the fish. So, he's up against it.
He's on his feet.
Has he got it?
He's got it.
Oh,
he's got it.
It's not as big as I thought it was, but it might have been under the chin or somewhere, so.
Well, look, let's have a look at this now, because we've seen a couple of fish being played that we thought were actually a little bit bigger than they are.
Yeah.
Are they down on elastic because of this weather, or are they down on elastic because there's a few F1s around?
Possibly, yeah. And if there's, a lot of anglers, if they do foul hook fish and they've got a lighter elastic, they've got more chance of getting it in as well because they've got a bit more give in the elastic. Not so much pressure on the fish, so there's a chance they can get them in with a lighter elastic. So
there's definitely a pattern developing that it seems to be a light elastic day.
Yeah. I've seen Darren Cox using white hydro and stuff like that. So yeah, I think anglers will go for lighter elastics with the conditions today. So yeah.
And we just look through the trees there, and we see Chris Barley, regular in the UK Angling Championships. Very, very consistent angler. Not won a major yet, but he's one of those cool, quiet types that you think, you know what, any time now he could.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't know him, Rob. I mean, I probably know his face, but listen, if he's in this final, he's no mug, and I'm sure he'll, later on, I fancy him for later on in the match when they maybe come down the edge. He's got a lot of room. So yeah, he's definitely one to watch. Good
track record that area as well. But let's have a look at the man next door to him, peg 15 now. Doesn't need any introduction at all. James Dent, England international.
Yeah, he's a fantastic angler. He's a nice guy as well. He's on a good peg. He fishes for Barnsley, so he's very well respected throughout the fishing industry, and he's got a chance as well, I think, if they turn up on his peg.
Let's have a look at the gentleman next door to him now, and this is peg 16. This is the one that most people wanted to draw. Dan White, smack bang in between the islands, a lot of fish in front of him, caught one or two already.
Yeah, I mean, Dan's very well known. He's a very consistent angler, gets in these finals all the time. It'd be nice to see him win. He's only a youngish lad. It'd be nice to see him win, and he's on the favourable peg. So, he was dangerous as well throughout the day.
And then just to his right or the left of the picture, as we look at it, my lucky number, this one, 17, and we have the gentleman of match fishing there. That is Harry Billing now, England international in the veterans. He's been a medal winner recently.
Yeah, he's a world champion, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he's beat me. He beat me for second as well, so he's not my favourite cup of tea. No, I'm joking. He's a fantastic angler. And do you know what? He's a steady angler. And all of a sudden he might not be catching, and then all of a sudden he'll come out of the blue nowhere.
So that is it for Zone 3. That seems to be where the clever money is. But you know what? As a carp angler, I fancy a little bit to the left as we look at it. I fancy that windy end, and I think you do too.
Yeah, I do, mate. Yeah, you've got to fancy that end peg. He's had a couple of fish already, and I just think he'll just get stronger.
So there is the very end peg, right on the end of the wind. Craig Edmonds, Trig, everybody knows him as.
Yeah, Mr. Drawbag, they call him down his way.
He's done it again there, isn't he?
He has, yeah. I mean, to be fair to him, he's drawn well all week, but he hasn't messed anything up, Rob. He's fished a brilliant match all week, and he's gone and drawn an end peg. And you've got to be favourable today for that peg. Once the fish turn up,
I would say that as a carp angler, that would be the sort of area that I'd be looking at, particularly down that edge as well, because they're going to be in there, not really, really tight in, but maybe a foot or two off it. I think they'll be heading that way.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's obviously
till 4 o'clock today. I think 2 o'clock he'll be looking down that edge, definitely for some of them. There's some big ghosties live down there and some big mirrors. Yeah, he's going to be seriously dangerous to beat today.
Right, let's look at the next man up now, and this is a man that strikes fear into anybody that match fishes in this country. He's won 3 of the big ones. He's done the UK Angling Championship twice. He's done the Golden Reel, and he's also done Match This. That man is Andy Power.
But let me tell you, this kid's different gravy. You know, and no angler wants to say anyone's better than him, but this kid is brilliant. You know, he don't win matches like that for nothing. And yeah, you know, he gets his fair shares of draws, but so does everybody else. And you've got to draw to win. But let me tell you, he don't matter where he sits, he'll be dangerous. He's an absolute class angler.
Moving just to the right of Andy Power. It's a seat that I wouldn't really want to be in next door to Andy Power. But anyway, it is number 19, peg 19. That is Ryan Bennet. And Ryan is doing phenomenally well. I would say that Ryan is probably leading at the moment.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's probably got about £10 at the minute, because obviously the match isn't fishing very well at the moment. But yeah, he's had 3 or 4 fish, and I would say he's definitely winning this zone. And well, he's winning down here at the moment.
It looks pretty grim over there. We'll move up now to peg 18. That is John Jowett. He's just firing a few baits out with the catty there. He's brave with the catapult in this wind for sure.
Yeah, he's probably feeding the other Ryan's peg, to be fair. But no, John's a class angler.
Halfway up the lake now, looking across at peg 9, and this is zone 2. Of course, 4 anglers, 4 pegs make up a zone, £1,000 up for grabs. And in peg 9, we've got Simon Jones. End peg, Grant. Do you fancy it?
I think obviously it can be a good feeder peg, but he's got obviously a lot of room to his right. So if they come down the edge, it'll be in with a chance.
He's got Nick Speed next to him on his left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, if they come on that feeder, there you go. He's just poured into a fish there, look. If that's a good area for F1s and Carrassios, and it always has been. And that'll suit Nick, to be fair. Just sit on a little method or a pellet feeder, and he'll just plug away. And then obviously he's feeding short to try and draw a few in for late on. But certainly don't need no introduction, Nick. He's a fantastic angler. And I'm sure if there's fish in his peg, he'll be catching them, no problem at all.
He spends his life as an angling coach, so he's out teaching people how to catch them, and now he's out proving that he can catch them. And whilst it's not a massive fish, it's one of the only fish we've seen caught up here at the moment, so that's not a bad start for him.
No, that's a good start, mate. I mean, so yeah, it's probably a pound and a bit, but it's a pound and a bit in his net, you know. So and it's not been very good up this end. So, you know, as long as you're putting fish in your net, you know, you're building a nice weight.
But action stations up here, just that Scott Puddy just lifted up there. We were just going to have a look at it. There's a fair amount of elastic out on that one.
But yeah, I mean, he's got a big fish on there. It's just like I said to you earlier with that wind, Robbie. You know, the wind blows and it could pull out. You could pull out of a fish quite easily if that pole gets pulled back too quick with that wind. But that looks like a big fish, so he'll certainly be taking his time with that.
Well, let's just sit and have a look at this now, because this is getting exciting. There's fish starting to be caught. We're not an hour into the competition yet. Yeah. It looked like it was quiet up this end. The bottom end on the end of the wind, that had a little bit of a slow start, but there were fish being caught. But now the lads up here just seem to have found their feet a little bit more. And just this last 10 minutes or so, there's 1 or 2 more fish being caught. Oh, it's right under his feet. It looks like it's trying to get under his slabs there. Yeah. Pegs are pretty safe here. He's got it.
He's got it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, £5 or £6, I would say for me, Rob.
It's amazing how quick it makes a difference, isn't it? You know, we're looking at £10 leading away down at the bottom end of the lake at the moment. He might have had nothing, but suddenly he's 3/4 of the way there.
Exactly that. You know, he might only need 10 of them today, could win the match. You know, we don't know what's going to win it today. But that's, you know, if he has 10 of them, he'll be there or thereabouts.
Zone 1 now. Pegs 2, 3, 4 and 5. And let's start off with peg 5. That's Tony Gilbert.
Yeah, Tony's another viaduct lad. You know, he certainly knows how to catch fish. He's had a brilliant week. He's caught some nice fish this week and caught some good weights. And obviously he's got himself in the final, you know. So again, there's not been a lot caught up this end, Rob, and I haven't seen him catch anything yet.
It's interesting actually how sometimes people can be doom and gloom, because when I was talking to a few of the lads earlier, they were saying, no, it's a feeder match, it's definitely going to be a feeder match, not going to be able to fish the pole today. Yeah. Lo and behold, the draw's taking place and lots of people are out on the pole.
Yeah, I think as well, when you get down by the lake, I know it's blowing, it is blowing all over the place.
Never as bad as it looks.
It's never as bad as it looks, no.
Peg 4 now, Mike McMillan, very, very consistent young angler.
I don't know if he's drawn a very good area there, Rob.
I think it's tough in this middle section, particularly with people opposite. This is going to be the tougher end of the pond. Just to his left or right as we look at it, in peg 3, the man in black, Jordan Holloway, already caught one quite big fish early on in the competition, second or third put in, and he's gone and nailed a fish that's been estimated around about £6.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan's only a young lad, fishes for England. He started off like a train this week. He went 3 wins. Everyone thought he was going to get 5 wins, and then he had a couple of bad draws, and he didn't catch. But you know, he's only a young lad, but he's a very experienced young lad. You know what I mean? He's very, very good.
And then finally, peg 2, end peg. Gavin Levisage, bit of space up there.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Rob, he's had a bit of space this week. He's been a bit lucky this week. I'm not going to afraid to say it either. He had a couple of empty pegs and he's got in the final, and he's gone and drawn another end peg with a load of room.
Zone 6 now, near bank, as we're calling it, the one underneath the commentary box. And this is at the top end of the lake, just with their backs to the wind, slightly more comfortable on that side, and we're looking at Dale Shepherd, peg number 50. Just dropping some worms up there by the look.
Yeah, I mean, Dale's on fire at the minute. I mean, he won the festival last week. He's got in the final this week, and yeah, I mean, where we're up this end, he's not so bad there where he is. He's probably got the best peg for hardly any wind, so much, if you know what I mean. But I mean, Dale will be dangerous wherever he draws, but I don't know whether he's at the right end.
Peg 49 now, Tom Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, I know Tom. I don't know him that well, but I know he's only a young lad.
It's promising to see this new young talent that's coming through. You know, we don't have that many juniors coming up into the ranks, but the ones that do seem to be pretty good. There's Paul Holland. He won the festival, and I'm not sure he's going to be overly happy with this peg, although having won the festival, he's quite happy with doing that rather than today.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who wins a festival here, it's a big achievement. You know, I know the sections are divided into 36, Rob, but even so, it's still a great achievement. Anyone who wins a festival has had, obviously, a few good draws, but you've still got to win. It doesn't matter if you have a good draw or not, you've still got to win. You've still got to catch them fish. And for Paul, that's a massive achievement for him, and I know he's well chuffed.
So the end of zone 6 now, and that is peg 47. Yeah. This is John Arthur. Calling the end peg, he's not done it this time. He's won the UK Angling Championships 3 times and he's used to pressure situations.
Yeah, well, I call him Mr. UK because he has won it 3 times. He's frightening, but John, he's a very experienced angler. He's a very good angler, so consistent. Jordan's in again. You know, just while we're commentating on that, Jordan is in again, definitely. So, look, bigger than that, the way his rubber's bending, but that's a £1 fish. You know, so
pound more than anyone else has caught in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Talk us through what he's doing, Darren.
I'm guessing them are pellets. I think he's fishing micros. I couldn't see what hook bait he got on there, but I'm sure that'd be micros. But he's fishing a good rod length off that island. Most people would have probably gone to the island, to be fair, but fair play to him. You know, and he's putting fish in the net every now and again. So, you know, without going back down the other end, I would say he was definitely one of the leaders at the minute.
Zone 5 now, end peg, Andy Bennet. Callum Dix to one side, John Arthur to the other. Is he going to be scared of that?
No, I don't think so. They don't call him Bagger for nothing. I mean, he's a cool cucumber. He's ever such a nice guy, and he can't half-catch some fish, he can.
Well, he's got his work cut out, because if we just move to his left-hand side or the right as we look at it, we see a man with a black cap in a green and black coat, and that man is Callum Dix, former England international. He stepped back from the England squad to concentrate on commercial fishing a little bit more, and my word, he's having a good day so far. Very, very consistent angler, that one.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need no introduction, Rob. I think he's just struck into a fish, and we're speaking about him. I mean, he's a class act. I mean, he was at Porth. He needed a win yesterday at Porth to get in his final, and not only did he win it, you know, I think he was 3rd overall on the actual lake. And he's a fantastic angler, and if he's on fish, he's going to be so dangerous. We've seen him have 4 or 5 fish, maybe 6 fish at the minute, and he's playing one at the minute. So, you know, he will be dangerous. And he's in the company he's in as well. You know, Darren Cox one side, Bennet the other, and he's beating both of them at the minute. So, you know,
by a considerable margin as well, I've got to say. I think he's that's 6 fish now, I think, and the others, I think they've had 1 each. Have they? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he'll be confident. When you fish at international level, you know, you've got to be a cool cucumber, you know, and he certainly is that.
So, Darren Cox, England international, very, very steady angler.
Oh, mate, well, Darren hasn't won. You know, he's a fantastic angler. He's got everything set up. He'll be doing everything he can to catch whatever he can today.
We'll move just to his left or the right as we look at it. And hidden there behind that little bit of reed mace on the island, we see one Des Ship, Esquire.
Take some hiding, he would, mate. Nah, Des is one of my best mates. I've known him 30 years, and that kid is, I'm sure he's a fish. He can catch from pegs that you just don't expect to catch. I mean, he's an amazing angler, and he's won everything. You know, he's won this twice, I think, and he's been second God knows how many times. And to be fair, I fancy him today. I fancy him late on.
Well, he's got the peg that a lot of people wanted. They reckon that he's going to win off that.
Yeah, I have actually won off that. Adam Wakeling won off it. I won off it. The conditions obviously weren't like this, but he's got a lot of room there. And if they come down his edge, he will be very, very dangerous.
Let's have a look at a man much further down the bank now. Let's have a look at Callum Dix. Now, I've been watching Callum, and on the quiet, he's been plugging away at it. He's been catching quite a few. He's had some decent fish, and he's got one on now. Well, let's just have a look now. He's got that fish right in very quickly. Yeah. You know what? That's his fourth fish of the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously F1's a shoalfish. If that was an F1, which I think it was, or even a Crassio, they're both shoalfish, but you know, he could be on the little shoal. Oh,
good weight builders, aren't they? You get on them like that, good weight builders. Yeah, the crowd's starting to build up down here now at Whiteacres. Now the rain has slowed down a little bit. The wind is still blowing pretty strongly, but not quite as strong as it was before. And the crowds have come out from underneath their shelter. They're watching the action, and it's a brilliant day's entertainment down here, Grant, isn't it?
Oh, it's always brilliant, mate. It's nice to see, and other people who obviously haven't done so well in the festival to stay behind it and actually watch the others who've competed it. Some people obviously got long drives home and they do go home, but it is nice to see other anglers coming and supporting the match. You know, it's fantastic.
Looks like Des Ship might be in down that bottom end down there. Not seen him doing too much so far, but it looks like he's in, and this is going to be the danger for everybody else, that Des sits there quietly, but when he gets into him, he gets into him.
Oh mate, he's a joke, Des is. He's like, like you say, you can sit there, oh, you caught, I ain't seen him catch nothing, then he'll pull £50 out. I mean, the kid is unbelievable, and that could be a good fish, and you know, that could take him. You know, Callum's had 4 fish for, say, let's say £8–9. Des could have 1 fish now and overtake him. That's just how it is. You just never know. You're never out of it, especially when it's fishing as hard as it is. You're never out of it. Anybody could win this. Yeah.
He's got it. Doesn't look to be as big as we thought it was, but he's in.
I'm guessing like £3 or £4. Might be more, Rob. I mean, we're a distance away from Des from here, so.
Well, it's starting to get blustery again as we look down there at Des Ship. The wind blowing the lens of the camera, rattling us around a little bit as it picks up and blows through the trees down here. We have 24 of the country's top anglers that have qualified. 160 started the week during the Preston Festival. They wanted to make the cut. The top 24 made it. The 136 that didn't will disappear home, having had a great week, but wondering what could have been. But for now, it's eyes on the 24 on the banks of Jenny's Lake at Whiteacres. Game on. Parkdean Masters 2018. Well, let's look at how it started. You know, directly opposite here, that was a bit of a favourite. The end peg on the wind, that's always going to be good in carp conditions, which these are. Top end of the lake, Jordan Holloway. What an absolutely brilliant start he's had. You know, young lad, he's not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. He's well and truly in it, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, he's probably got, we've got him there for about £20-ish kind of thing. I mean, he's saying he's only got 30 there, so he's only 1 fish behind. Some big fish in this lake.
Callum Dix has been chipping away as well. He's got 1 or 2 of the F1s, so, you know.
Also, Des has lost 2 big carp. We've just seen him put 1 in the net. You know, he'll be thereabouts.
Do you know what's interesting about that? That we've spoken about 3/4 different people up there, but they're 3/4 different sections as well. It's not all at one end.
No.
3 different sections have all got a clear leader within their section. The action, though, really, we have to say it, and we did predict it before, it's down here, it's on the wind.
Yeah.
And that man at the end, Craig Edmonds Trigg, he's absolutely flying, isn't he?
Yeah, I would be very surprised to see anybody beat him now, unless somebody catches down the edge.
Well, there's been fish coming all the way through this section as well. Denty's caught a few. Chris Barley, for me, is another one that, having that little bit of an end peg on his left-hand side, you know, he's in the region of £20 now as well.
Yeah.
If he puts his foot down a little bit later, he can do a bit of damage. But when you've got someone that's in the lead and the runner play is going in their favour, they're very difficult to touch, aren't they?
Yeah, and another thing as well is that when people see other people catching, they change tactics. They think, I'm behind now, I've got to do something.
Yeah.
And they start putting food, baiting and stuff like that, and they'll change their own match.
Yeah, let's see what's going on with the action down here, because this seems to be the place to be at the moment. Fish starting to play ball now, and as we get into the back end of the competition, we see Harry Billing playing a decent carp. And as this match has settled in, the bigger fish have started to come and play ball, and it's the bottom end of the lake, the windward end, that is producing most fish.
It's all to play for, mate. It's exciting.
Harry Billings just netted that fish. Not as big as we thought it was going to be, but it is yet another fish down here, and there's weight going in net.
Yeah, I mean, that's £4. Might even go 5, you know. He's what, 10, 15 pound behind the winner at the minute? Not a lot, mate.
Absolutely, it's not a lot at all. And you know, the size of the fish down this end of the lake, I would say, is probably on average twice the size of the opposite end. What they're catching down here is the bonus size of what they're catching up there.
Yeah, there's a lot of Carasio and F1s up that top end in the lower numbers and opposite. But yeah, certainly down this end, they're a lot bigger. And as we speak, Craig Edmonds has just hooked into a fish.
Well, he's back on track again now, and he's had a really, really good mid-section. The first hour he caught 1 or 2, but hour 2 and 3, that's when he's put his foot down, really.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's an M-peg, so the fish won't go too far away from him. And if they're hungry, they're going to come back and they're going to have another munch. Well, I see him running away with this in the end.
He's got Andy Power not 10 metres away from him. Andy's fishing towards him as well down the edge. And that's not going to be a very good situation for Andy. He's not caught too much, and he's going to be looking at Craig absolutely battering him.
Yeah, Harry Billing, tell you what, that man, I mean, he's won it twice. He's into another good sized fish. He had one before this one, which was probably £5 or £6 maybe, and he's in again.
Oh, God, he's lost it.
Yeah, he won't be happy about that. I mean, that's a good fish, that. I mean, whether it was foul hooked or not, but it didn't look foul hooked. It wasn't. It was just plodding around. If he's only just nicked it, he'll be devastated losing that.
Well, James Dent's putting his foot down, and my word, he's been sat there quiet for half an hour. He's just had one. Lo and behold, bunged it in, he's had another one.
Yeah, it's 2 in 2 chucks. As I say, I spoke to you earlier, but I didn't think he was casting enough. But obviously, once them turn up on that long line against that island, mate, he could just storm ahead now. It's just one of them things. That could put in £30 now. Depends how big this one is.
Looked a half decent fish, actually, that. He's got it. Yeah, that's a good one.
£5. Dan White's just struck into a fish as Denty's landed that one. All hotting up down there, mate.
Mate, this is going to be an absolute flying finish now. There's an hour left. We have entered the last hour. We've got fish coming out all over the place. It does not matter where you look.
Yeah, peg 9. I'm just looking through the trees now. Simon Jones on peg 9, which is an end peg. He's just been fishing down the edge and he's playing a big fish now. So maybe his peg is going to kick in.
Let's get back to the action now and have a look at Dan White. Dan White sitting in the favoured peg, peg 16, the one that's won it 3 times already. Everybody had eyes on that peg. It hasn't really produced that much, but you know what? It's just started to light itself up, and that's a big fish. Well, things are really hotting up down here at Whiteacres now as we enter the final furlong of what has been an incredible competition. Early days, you know what, the weather was tough, it was pretty slow, but the match started, the fish were caught, and through the back end things have changed around completely. The carp have come on the feed, and it's been the windward end of the lake that has produced the biggest numbers. 1 or 2 people pop their heads above the parapet. It looks like they're in the race, but then they fall by the wayside. We look across the water at Craig Edmonds. He's had an incredibly steady match so far, and he's back into fish again. Will this be the man that will lift that trophy when the competition finishes in a little over 30 minutes time? Who knows? It's game on. Well, this is where nerves of steel come into play, because he's going to know that he's up there. He's going to know now that this could be the one that either seals his fate or adds to his sorrow. Elastic at full stretch, landing net coming into play.
Yeah, it's that time of day now, Rob. I mean, these aren't going to be little F1s and Carasios now. These are going to be carp. He's catching carp now, and this is so important, this fish, to him now. This will be a real good fish, this.
He's going to know that as well, isn't he? He's going to know that every single one that he puts in now is a nail in someone else's coffin.
Yeah. I mean, you know, for every fish because we still got him down as a leader, and every fish he puts in his net is just moving away from the pack slowly. And the bigger the fish, even better for him. He just puts him that much further out in front. I mean, the kid, he's had a great week anyway. He has drawn really, really well, but he's fished really well as well. You know, this will mean a lot to him to get this in now.
It's painful just watching this. I thought it was going to come in there, and he's just following it around. You see the elastic stretching as that fish just gives its final throws to get away. The net is in the water. It's very, very close stuff, this.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse as a fisherman think, you know, every time it lunges you think, oh, is it going to come off? You know, like Harry Billing lost 2 in 2 chucks, that could have put him in front. You know, every single fish is like, oh, please don't come off, you know. So, yeah, he'll be twitching a little bit, I reckon.
It's all part of the game, isn't it, of fishing. The fight is actually quite an enjoyable part of it, certainly for a specimen hunter. But there comes a part of that fight where you just think, you know what, I've had enough now. I just want you in, don't fall off anymore, because I've done enough now. I don't want to do any more. Just come in.
Yeah, and the worst thing to do for any angler is to try and rush it now, thinking, God, I've got to get this in now, and then you pull it that little bit too much, and then you pull the hook out, and that could cost you 25 grand.
He's got it. Let's have a look at that. Oh, it's a good one.
Nice fish. That's £8, I'll bet. £7 or £8. I'm putting that at. I've got him over £40 now.
You know,
definitely.
Well, I've got him closer to 50.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That, to me, that's the pivotal moment, that fish. You know, there's a pivotal moment in the back end of a match, isn't there?
Yeah.
And let's have a look. There's 40 minutes left. And that one is just that's going to seal his confidence, seal his nerves. He's going to think, yeah, you know, I should be getting towards all right with that now. Yeah. And another one of them, and that's it.
If he can catch another one of them, you know, I think it's I wouldn't say it's game over, but he's in a position now where if he can just keep putting an odd fish in his net, I can't see anybody beating him.
Well, this was my other tip. This is Chris Barley in peg 14. And he's not really done what I thought he might do, although it was always going to be an end game, whether or not he could start getting those fish feeding down the edge. And you spotted him, Grant. You said he was going down the edge and he's picked one up.
Yeah, he's just picked one up down the edge. And I say, he could go in now and catch 4 in 4 chucks. You know, he's still in the race. Denty's got another one on.
There we go. Chris has got his. And just as Chris is netting his, we see next door that James Dent is netting his as well. And my word, this is literally a fish for fish fest down there. It's not going to be big weights, but it's going to be steady weights, and they're almost, with the landing nets in the air, as both of those fish were put into their keep nets, then it was almost like synchronised netting. They netted them together, then hooked them together, they popped them into the net together, and now they'll cast out together. The big question now is who's going to be the first one to get one back. So back looking at Des' ship now. Granted, we'd heard that he'd had a nice little run, that he was up there challenging, but he's come down the edge, he's had a look, he's not had a bite down there, and he's back out in the middle again. And that to me says that really it's not quite Des' day at the moment.
No, I mean, obviously Des has come down the edge to have a look. If it had gone under straight away, I would have said, look, this game on now, he could win this. But unfortunately for Des, he didn't have a bite down there. He has refed it. You know, if he could go down and get another one, you know, he might have a chance, but it's not looking good for him at the minute. It seems to me all the action is down the other end, unfortunately for these guys up here. But Des has put up a good performance. He's got 30 odd pound. He admitted that to me, I asked him.
That should be enough for his own, shouldn't it? That's for sure.
I think so, yeah, definitely. So, you know, he'll be disappointed, but...
No cigar.
No cigar.
Late charge from Chris Barley that we can see.
Yeah, he's got another one on there, mate. Hey, you know, if that's £10, he's still in the game.
It might just be that little bit too late though for Chris. You know, he's caught 1 or 2 steady, but it's starting to come alive now, but he's only got 20 minutes and he's going to need really to put a hammer down if he's going to make a dent.
Yeah, he's going to have to go straight back in and get another one. I mean, obviously you've got to remember, Rob, this is only a 4-hour match, not a 5-hour match like normally. So if he had another hour down that edge, if they've just turned up, you know, but unfortunately for him, it's only 4 hours, not 5.
It is a massive difference, isn't it? The psyche and also the style with a 4-hour match over a 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fish get used to sort of coming in late, and everyone, you know, last 2 hours of a match normally are dominated by big fish down the edge or caught short. But unfortunately today it's only 4 hours, so we're finishing at 4 instead of 5. Unfortunately for these guys, especially if you've got a lot of room, they might be able to do the damage in the last hour, but they're an hour shorter now, so it's unfortunate for them. But yeah, he needs to go in now and get one straight away. I mean, it takes a second to catch a fish.
Absolutely. Well, he's got to net this one first. He's still got it on. He's had it on for a while. Looks like he's just bundling that one in. Doesn't look like it's quite as big as I thought it was, actually, but it's still, oh, it's not a bad one. Well, that's it. The match is now over. James Dent has just lost a fish, but he's caught quite a few. Will it be him? Des Shipp, we know, is well and truly on the pace. Harry Billing, he has had a fantastic charge in the last few hours, but down in the corner at the bottom end, Craig down there, we think it's probably going to be his. As the scalesmen worked their way down the line, it was James Dent that was in the hot seat with a weight of 46 pounds 5 ounces. All eyes were now on Craig Edmonds. Had he done enough? And this is it. This is the man everybody is watching. This is the man that has had a fantastic day. Throughout the course of the day, it dried up a little bit towards the back end, but we've got him pegged as the leader at the moment. We've got to weigh Des Shipp in. Des has had an absolutely fantastic back end of the match as well. And we're going to be doing 2 weighs, some decent carp. £30 8 ounces for the first weigh. Needs another £16 to take the lead on the second weigh. James Dent's weight was £46 5 ounces.
Another 30 there.
He needs £15. He's clearly got more than that. This is going to take the lead. The big question is, how much by? £30 8 on the board so far, 46 to beat. There's another 30-ish there easily. 35. £33 on the nose, £63.5. That will put him well and truly in the lead. Is it enough?
Don't know what to say, to be honest. It's not over yet. I heard Des got a few, but to be honest, I started off 5 metres. I've seen a carp top there, so I've gone straight in. I've had one after about 25 minutes. Slowed up. I had a chuck around on the feeder, nothing. So I've just thought to myself, if I'm going to do any damage here, it's going to be at 5 metres. And the middle of the max was really good. Tailed off at the end, but yeah, everything hit meat short really. So
what would it mean to win this?
A lot, to be honest, for the bank balance and for the prestige. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, Des Shipp to weigh in. Let's find out. Des Shipp weighing in. We have £63 to beat. Is it a 1 net weigh, Des? It is a 1 net weigh. It's not going to do it.
41 5 ounces.
£41 5 ounces for Des Shipp. Not enough to take the overall lead. So it looks like Craig Edmonds has got it. Des, just talk us through your day.
Well, it's just not happened, Rob. Everybody started on the feeder down here. No one's had a bite. I've had a bite after about 40 minutes, which has come off, and it's probably a small carp. I went on the pole, but obviously it's been horrific earlier. Sort of winds died off as per normal, doesn't it, when you finish your match? Started on hard pellets, caught nothing, so I changed to corn, and I've had a carp, £4, and I fouled up one which has come off at the net.
Well, that's it. The scalesmen are working their way up the bank now to finish off this section, but there's nobody up there that will challenge our early leaders. It's been a brilliant day down here at Whiteacres, but the honours today will definitely go to Craig Edmonds.
I was static, to be honest, mate. Didn't ever think that anything like this would happen, so over the moon, over the moon.
Parkdean Masters champion. That's got a lovely ring to it, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah. There's been some huge names that won this competition, so.
You gonna smile or what?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to. So to have my name on that trophy, well, what more can you ask? It's the pinnacle, isn't it?
On the Bank, in association with First Stop Loans. Online loans for online people.